everyone to this video. In this video, I'll share with you the slide zoom effect, which will look something like this. So there is a video in the background and it is zooming in and out. And we have 4 bubbles on the slide. So we have Niagara Falls, Iguazu Falls, Victoria Falls and Havasu Falls. And if we click on any of them, it zooms into that slide. Doesn't it look absolutely beautiful? So it is a very interesting effect to make and also to see. So without further ado, let's start. This video will be divided into 3 parts. In the first part, we'll be making the slides. In the second part, we'll be making the shapes for the zoom effect. And in the third part, we'll be turning those shapes into zoom. So without further ado, let's start. So the first step was to make the slides. So let's start. So I have this folder ready. PowerPoint video, we have all these pictures: Havasu Falls, Iguazu Falls, Niagara Falls and Victoria Falls, and the video. So all these photos and videos will be download. You can download them. The link will be in the description below. So now let's start. I'll just drag this video in and align it to the center and the middle of the slide. Now I'll go to playback. So I'm going to playback because if I go to slideshow here, you can see the video is not playing. And that is because if you select the video and go to playback, you can see that it will start in the click sequence. So we'll just click on it and go to automatically. And now if we slideshow, the video will start playing. Amazing. And now we'll make 4 more slides, I think. So I'll just remove all the text box from this, select the slide, duplicate this 3 more times. And so first we have the Niagara Falls, and then we have so next we have the Iguazu Falls, then we have the Victoria Falls, and next we have the Havasu Falls. Now we have all the pictures done. Now let's type in something. So first, let's just go here, insert a text box, and we'll just write in zoom for video. I'll just select it all by Control A and change its color to white color, and change the font to Montserrat extra bold. Don't worry, this font will also be in the description below. Now I'll increase the size, and I can just say, instead of zoom for video, let's just do slide zoom. Yeah, slide zoom. Now I'll just align it to the center, reduce this text box, align it to the center, and hold on shift and position it right here. And I'll just select it all by Control A backspace and type in PowerPoint. Select it all, change the font to Montserrat semi-bold, and just reduce the size. P comes capital, sorry. Yes. So I'll just reduce the size to maybe about 32, and then I'll add some spacing. Some spacing always looks nice. So very loose will make it too big, and loose is not big enough, so we'll go to more spacing. Very loose is 6 points, so I'll just type in maybe 5. Yeah, 5 is working. So let's just do a 5. Select all of it, group it, and align it in the center. And I think we're pretty much done on this slide. There's one more thing that we need to do, and that is add the grow shrink animation to this video, but we'll do that at the end. So first we'll select this text box, copy it and paste it here. Now we'll type in Niagara Falls. Increase the text box, and it's not visible, so we'll add a shadow. So just right click, format shape, and go to text options. Just click here, shadow, and presets. You can pick any, but I just like this one, so I'll pick this. So here you can see the text is more prominent now. We can decrease the transparency like to about this much, increase the blur, and here you can see now this Niagara is prominent. Amazing. So now we'll copy this, paste it here, and I think these were the Iguazu Falls. Align to the center. We're pretty much done here. It is pretty much visible. Now we'll go here and Victoria Falls. So here without the shadow it would not have been visible because we have this white cast, but now we have the shadow, so we don't have to work that. So let's just go here too, type in Havasu Falls. And let's just align it to the center. And the last thing we need to do is add the grow shrink animation on this video. So I think this, and I also think that these textbooks should be a little bit more bigger. So I'll select the group, not individual text box, and increase the size. And I think this is more than good enough. Yes, so this is good enough for me. Align it to the center, and that's pretty much done. So now I'll select the video, go to animations, and then animation pane. Now I'll delete the trigger because the trigger is basically like doing, if we go to slideshow, we can click on this, and if we click on this the video will play. We don't want that. We just want it to go start automatically, so we'll delete this and select this with previous. And now select the video, go to add animation, add the grow shrink animation, just like this. Now this is too much zoom, so we'll double click on this and maybe put the size to about 120, or I think 110 will be more than sufficient. So 110 or reverse, so it will just keep looping. So zoom in, and out. And then in the timing, we'll put start with previous and repeat until the end of slide. So till we haven't clicked on the next slide, or in this case the zoom, it will just go on and on and on. So let's click on OK. Let's see the result. So it goes in and out. Amazing. So I think we're pretty much done for the part 1. I'll meet you on the part 2 where we'll be making shapes for the zooms. Now let's continue with part 2 where we'll be making shapes for the zoom effect. So let's start. First we'll go to insert tab and then shapes, and then pick a circle. We'll hold down shift so it is a perfect circle, and it will be about this way. I'll just put it right here, and I'll hit Control and Shift so I can copy it in a straight line. So I'll put the gap to about this much, and then I'll select both of them in Control Shift and then move them downwards, and I think this is done. So now I'll hit Shift and select all of these circles and group them by Control G, and then align them to the center of this line. Amazing. So now I'll go to shape outline and then add a white outline and then put the weight to be about 6 points. And now I'll go to shape fill, more fill colors, and go to custom. So whenever I'm making these zooms for slide zoom, I always pick a muted blue or a green for these shapes. And I've tried both of these colors, and the best is the muted blue because here you can see green is already present in this waterfall. So I'll just pick a blue about this dark and just move around, and I think this is done. And now cancel. And now I'll right click and go to format shape, go to fill, and add the transparency to about 30%. It always adds a bit dynamism in the PPT. So now we're pretty much done. Now there are only two things we need to do: add the icon and add the text. So for the icon, I have a waterfall icon, and don't worry, this will also be present in the description below. So here I'll just position it, and to position it I'll just ungroup it. So Control Shift G, and now these are individual objects. Control Z. So now I'll select this icon, go to graphics format, and choose the color to be white. I'll decrease the size so there's a bit of room for the text. Now I'll select the shape and then select this waterfall, and then I'll go to align to center, and it is aligned to the center of the shape. Amazing. So now I'll select this waterfall and do the same thing, Control Shift, and put this in the center of the circle. Amazing. Now I'll select both of them, Control Shift, and drag them downwards, and I think this is done. And now we just have to add the text. So I'll go to Insert, Text Box, and then I'll type in Niagara. I'll just type in Niagara Falls. I'll select the text box and choose a white color and choose the font to be Montserrat semi-bold, and increase the size to about 24 and put them here. Well, not 24, I guess 21 will be sufficient. Yes. So I'll just put the size to be about 21 and put it in the center of the circle. And now we'll do the same thing that we did with the waterfall icon. I'll hit Control Shift and move this in the center of the circle, and then select both of them by Shift and drag them down into the center of the circles as well. So now we are done with the shapes. In the next part, we will be making these shapes into zooms. So I'll meet you there. So now we'll be continuing with the part 3, where we'll be turning these shapes into zooms. So first, we'll go off topic, not off topic, but a thing which I forgot to tell you in part 1, which is we have to select the video and turn on loop until stop. So if it ends, it loops and it begins. So now, before making these shapes into zooms, we have to give them proper names because all of these are Niagara Falls. So I'll select and just type in Iguazu Falls and select the circle, select the text box and align them to the center. And we have to do this with every text box. So Victoria Falls. Select the circle, select this text box and align it to the center. And just choose this text box and Havasu Falls. And select the circle, and then select the text box and align it to the center of the slide. So now we'll be turning these into zooms. So before that, we'll pick each one of them and group them. So like this, select group, and if you forgot how to group, the shortcut is Ctrl G. So I selected all of them, Ctrl G, and now this is a group. Select Ctrl G. Amazing. So now I'll select one of them, right click and go to save as picture, and I'll just name it, for example, 1, and then I'll save, like not save, select this Iguazu Falls and save as picture, and 2 Victoria Falls. Oops. So I'll select the group and save as picture, and 3, and select this group, right click, save as picture, and 4. So now we have like turned all of them into pictures, and now we'll go to insert, zoom, and then slide zoom. And now I'll pick, for example, slide 2, which is Niagara Falls, and now we have a zoom here. So first I'll go to zoom and go to zoom border and no outline, and then I'll go to change image, and then from a file, and then I'll choose Niagara Falls. So now this is a zoom button, which if we click on, it will like lead us to the Niagara Falls slide. So I'll just select it, go to zoom, and then return to zoom. So like we can return to the base slide. So now I'll pretty much try to match the size, so 5.99. So I'll put this to 5.99. Yep. And then I'll delete this. I'll just position it somewhere around here, and no, first we'll have to align it with that as well. And now we are pretty much done for Niagara Falls, not all of them. So I'll quickly do these two. So we've already done that. Whoops. Insert, zoom, and go to slide zoom, and I'll select all of these slides, slide 2, 3, and 4, and 5. Not 2, just 3, 4, and 5. And we have all of these zooms. So I'll just place them right here. Select all of them. Go to zoom. Remove the zoom border. And now we have to do that one by one. Zoom, change image from a file and Iguazu Falls. And then 5.99 is the size. Delete that bubble and just align. I'll align them later. So now I'll go to Havasu Falls, zoom, return to zoom, change image from a file, and I'll choose Havasu Falls and pick the height 5.99. And do the same thing with Victoria Falls. Return to zoom, change image from a file, and then choose the Victoria Falls, and then height to be 5.99. Oops, that didn't happen. 5.99, and that is done now. So now I'll go to the selection pane and just delete all of these groups. And now we have all of these slide zooms. Here you can see slide zoom 65, slide zoom. So all of these are slide zooms. So now we have the same size. So now I'll just align them with each other. I believe now they are aligning. So I'll just group them and align to the center of the slide. You know the gist. And now if you go to slideshow, you can see that this is working amazing. Like this is working beautifully. So now we have some zooms, and we have Victoria Falls, and then Havasu Falls, and if we click again, we'll return to the base slide. Iguazu Falls, we'll return to the base slide, and for some reason it's going to Victoria Falls, and I believe that is because for Iguazu Falls, I don't think we have done return to zoom. Yep, that was the problem. Now it's solved. And now if we go to slideshow, here you can see I'll click on Iguazu Falls, select again, and go to the base slide. So now the effect of slide zoom is done.
Thank you for watching our video. Please do subscribe to our channel because it would help us immensely. Brainy Brothers are signing up for now. Bye bye. See you soon.